Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at how you do multiplication without a calculator using something called grid method. Now, you might already know other methods for multiplication. However, we find that this method is the one that most people get right, and it's the easiest to be able to see where you've gone wrong. And also, it's the easiest thing to do in terms of breaking it down and simplifying it. So, what you need to do in order to do grid method is to split the numbers up based on their place value. So for example, if you had the number 327, you would split that up into 327. So splitting it into hundreds, tens and units. Okay, so that's what I mean by splitting up the numbers. Now you'll see what I mean about how you put that in the grid, looking at some examples now. So we'll look at these ones together. So the first question, we're doing 36 times 7. So to put it into the grid, we'd split up 30 and 6. So you get 36, and 7 is just one number, so you keep it as 7, okay? And then you draw the grid around it, put a multiplication sign in the top left to remind yourself that you're multiplying, and then you fill out the grid. So the first space here, we get the answer by doing 7 times 30. Now always take off the 0, do 7 times 3 first. You should know that's 21. And then add the 0 back in. And then we have to do this gap here by doing 7 times 6, which is 42. Now, once you've done that, you get the final answer by adding up the bits in the middle of the grid. So the two answers that you've got, we need to add up. And we do that using column methods, remembering to think about place value and where you place the numbers underneath each other. So we have to do 0 add 2 is 2, 1 add 4 is 5, and 2 add nothing is 2. So our final answer is 252. Okay, next example. This time we've got two two-digit numbers, so we split them up again into 50 and 4, and 70 and 9, and we draw our grid around it. Now, it doesn't matter whether you put 50 and 4 here and 70 and 9 there, you should get the same answer. So, filling in the gaps then, we have to do 70 times 50. So, 7 times 5 is 35. And then put in both zeros after, so you get 3,500. Then do 70 times 4 by doing 7 times 4, which is 28, and then add the 0. 9 times 50, 9 times 5 is 45, add the 0, and 9 times 4 is 36. So we've done the hard bit. Last step is we need to add these things together. Don't forget using column method. So 3,500, 280, 450, and 36. So 0 add 0 add 0 add 6 is 6. 8 add 5 is 13. Add 3 is 16. Carry over the 1. 5 add 2 is 7, add 4 is 11, add 1 is 12, carry the 1, and 3 add nothing, but add the 1 down here is 4. So our final answer is 4,266. Okay, final example then. So we're splitting this number into 3 parts, 600, 30, and 2, and then 83 is split into 80 and 3. Again, we draw our grid. And we start from here. 8 times 6 is 48. Then we add 3 zeros. 8 times 3 is 24. Add 2 zeros. 80 times 2 is 160. 3 times 6 is 18. Add 2 zeros. 3 times 3 is 9. Add the 0. And 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, now we need to add these numbers together in our column method. So 48,000, 2,400, 160, 1,800, 90 and 6. So these added together plus 6 is 6. 6 add nothing, add 9 is 15, carry the 1. 4 add 1 is 5, add 8 is 13, add 1 is 14, carry the 1. 8 add 2 is 10, add 1 is 11, add 1 is 12, carry the 1, and 4 add 1 is 5. So our final answer there is 52,456. So make sure you've got those written down and then have a go at these your turn questions. Pause the video, make sure you're splitting the numbers up, adding them together at the end and double checking your multiplications as you go through, and come back and see how you did. Okay, so first question. We split 26 into 20 and 6 and we're timesing it by 8. So first things first, 8 times 2 is 16, add the 0, 160, and 8 times 6 is 48. Add these up. You get 8, 6 add 4 is 10, carry the 1, 1 add 1 is 2. So final answer is 208. Well done if you got that. Next one, split up 37 into 30 and 7 and 62 into 60 and 2. Draw your grid. 6 times 3 is 18, add the zeros. 6 times 7 is 42, add the 0. 2 times 30 is 60 and 2 times 7 is 14. Adding these up using column method. So we get 4. 2 add 6 add 1 is 9. 8 add 4 is 12, carry the 1. 1 add 1 is 2. So our final answer is 2,294. Final question then, we're doing 741 times 94. Draw your grid around it. Okay, first one, 9 times 7 is 63, and we have to add 3 zeros. 9 times 4 is 36, add 2 zeros, 2 there. 90 times 1 is 90. It's meant to say times. 4 times 7 is 28, add the 2 zeros. 4 times 4 is 16, add the 0. And 4 times 1 is 4. Final step then, adding up these things in column method, being careful to correctly place your numbers in the right columns. So all of these things added together is 4. 9 add 6 is 15, carry the 1. 8 add 6 is 14, add 1 is 15, add 1 is 16, carry the 1. 3 add 3 is 6, add 2 is 8, add 1 is 9, and 6 add nothing is 6. So final answer, 69,654. So as you can see, this method is really clear, easy to use, visual, and you're far less likely to make mistakes than if you use column method. So we really recommend you use this method. You can practice some more of these by setting yourself your own questions, using grid method to solve it, and then double check on a calculator.